So one of the trickiest parts about coming off of Suboxone, tapering down, when you get to those lower doses, especially if you've been on it for a long time, there will be a resurfacing of your emotional pain, your physical pain. You know, a lot of the reasons why you used painkillers, opiates, opioids in the first place start to resurface. And it can be very difficult to keep pushing through and not giving into those temptations, especially if you're just going about the repetition of life. You're going through the motion. So much of this has to do with our nervous system and essentially software programs being embedded through repetition habits over time, right? So it can be hard to make new habits and routines when you're feeling yourself almost time travel back to an older version of yourself when you're feeling just complete hell, right? But it's not impossible. So like one of the things, as an example, last night I just made it. This is part 2 of the other short. I almost relapsed last night. So at this point in my life, I almost have to make myself start walking to go pick up the droogs and talk to myself on the way down there. And it truly is an absolutely hellish tug of war, mentally, physically, emotionally, energetically. It's talk about putting yourself in the fire. So, but being able to start that walk, commit to this mission, which you've done, you know, in my case, almost off and on for 20 years, being able to make the decision that I'm going to pick up and then start and get myself to turn around used to be one of the most difficult, nearly impossible feats. And over the last couple of years, I've gotten a lot better at it. You know, it sucks to have to go through the motions like that, but the reason I brought up the nervous system is, you know, engaging like that and then being able to beat your temptations into submission, so to speak, and turn around and listen to yourself and your heart and those higher parts of yourself that don't want you to self-destruct, that want you to thrive. Like that's an example of rewiring your nervous system. Do that enough times. And also, I just thought of this too. You know, people struggle with the idea and concept of God, especially in relation to addiction. And I think the simplest way for an addict to understand what God is and a higher power is when you're caught in those moments of wanting to, not even that you want to, of getting caught in your addiction and your routine and your habits, that part of you that is inside, that wants the best for you, that wants you to go back home and turn around because you don't deserve to keep hurting yourself, that is God. That aspect of yourself which seems to be muted out the more you fall into addiction. It is always there, but it becomes hard to hear, right? So being able to turn around like that, dude, that's a high in itself, dog.